Assalamu alaikum. This is our 29th lecture of managerial economics, and the topic that we are discussing these days is market structure. We have already discussed three types of market structure, that is monopolistic competition, perfect competition, and monopoly. Today we are going to discuss oligopoly. In this market structure, there are few sellers who are producing and selling differentiated products or homogeneous products. In this case, we will consider first of all the basic characteristics of oligopoly market. The first one is, as I said, that there are few sellers. That is, a handful of sellers are producing a bulk of industry output. And the second characteristic is that these markets, in this market, the firms which are competing in the industry, they are interdependent. This is a very important characteristic of oligopoly firms. And the third one is that these firms are either selling differentiated products or homogeneous products. In case of homogeneous products, we can give the example of aluminum, copper, or petroleum products. And the distinctive products, there is a long list, such as computers, cell phones, automobiles, etc. The fourth basic characteristic of oligopoly market is that here the information is, as far as the consumers are concerned, their information regarding the prices, cost, and quality of product is not complete. Another important feature of this market structure is that entry to the market and exit from the market is not easy. That is, the entry to the market and exit from the market, they are heavily restricted. In the long run and in the short run, the firms can make above normal profits. That is, the price is greater than marginal cost, and for the efficient oligopoly firms, price or average revenue is also greater than average cost. As far as the sources of oligopoly are concerned, they are more or less the same that we have already considered for monopoly. In order to refresh you, you can see these factors on screen. First one is economies of scale. Economies of scale, as we have seen, it has resulted to a natural monopoly. और यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि economies of scale की वजह से natural oligopoly जो है वो exist करेगी. The second factor here is large capital investment required. Third is patented production processes, brand loyalty, control of a raw material or resource, government franchise, and the last one is limit pricing. Except for the last one, where all the items that we have listed here, they were also explained in case of monopoly. So we are not going to explain them again. As far as the last item is concerned, that is the limit pricing. ये फैक्टर जो है ये हमने यहाँ पे इसलिए दिया है, जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं कि जो सारे फैक्टर्स हमने यहाँ पे जो सोर्सेज बताई थी मोनोपोली के लिए, वही सोर्सेज तकरीबन ऑलिगोपोली के लिए भी हैं. एंड दीज सोर्सेज आर ऑल्सो वन और द अदर फॉर्म ऑफ barriers to the entry to the market. Similarly, limit pricing is also a barrier to the entry in the market, in the sense that the existing firms, oligopoly firms, they set their prices so low that the new entrants are not attractive towards the market. तो इस वजह से जब वो प्राइसेस को बहुत लो जो है डिटर्मिन करते हैं, लो रखते हैं, तो इसकी वजह से प्रॉफिट्स जो हैं वो भी बहुत लो होते हैं, और जिसकी वजह से जो पोटेंशियल एंट्रेंट्स हैं मार्केट में वो डिस्करेज होते हैं, और इस तरह से जो एग्जिस्टिंग फर्म्स हैं उनकी जो मोनोपोली है वो कायम रहती है. तो ये लिमिट प्राइसिंग जो है ये भी एक एंट्री बैरियर फैक्टर जो है उसको आप कंसिडर कर सकते हैं. सिंस देयर आर फ्यू सेलर्स इन द मार्केट, the action of one seller will affect the other sellers in the market. By action, we mean that the change in price or change in output or change in other non-price factors such as advertising. So we can see that the action of one firm has affected the action of the other firm. So एक firm का जो action है वो दूसरी firm उस पे react करती है. Since we are saying the number of sellers is few, and we have seen that one firm's action affects the other firm's action. So, is tarah se, having said that, it means it is quite clear that the most distinguishing factor or the most distinguishing characteristic of oligopoly is interdependence among competing firms in the industry. The action of one firm affects the action or reaction of the other firms. तो इसमें ये है कि जब एक oligopoly firm जो है उसकी तरफ से कोई एक्शन जो है वो आता है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ प्राइसिंग पॉलिसी, आउटपुट पॉलिसी, और द डिग्री ऑफ प्रोडक्ट डिफरेंशिएशन, or the amount of which is to be spent on advertising, that is advertising expenditure. तो इन सब के जो भी उसने फैसला लेना होता है वो उसको फैसला लेने से पहले उसको दूसरी फर्म्स जो हैं उनका रिएक्शन के बारे में भी जो है उसको मद्देनज़र रखना पड़ता है. दैट इज़ ही हैज़ टू कंसिडर द रिएक्शन of the other firms. He has to consider that how the other firms will react to his pricing policy, his output policy, his product differentiation policy or his other decisions. So जो decisions हैं वो firms के interdependent हैं. एक firm का जो decision है वो दूसरी firm के ऊपर असर करेगा. Since there are few competitors in the market, but there are different competitors and their reaction to one action of the firm or the competitor firm could be different. So this means that as far as oligopoly is concerned, there is no single oligopoly model, but there are many, which means that we can say there is no single general model for oligopoly behavior that exists. Therefore, we have to consider various oligopoly models. Because of this independence, because of this interdependence among the competing firms, it becomes very difficult as far as managerial decision making is concerned. It becomes quite complex under oligopoly as compared to under other market structures. So सबसे ज़्यादा यहाँ पे problem जो है managerial decision making में आएगा, क्योंकि यहाँ पे ना सिर्फ उसने अपने action को देखना है, जो भी उसकी अपनी पॉलिसीज़ होंगी, बल्कि उसको अपनी पॉलिसीज़ से पहले उनको डिटर्मिन करने से पहले उसको दूसरे जो फर्म्स हैं कंपीटिंग जो मार्केट में हैं उनकी भी पॉलिसीज़ को देखना है. इन दिस वे वी कैन से दैट देयर इज़ नो सिंगल जनरल ओलिगोपोली मॉडल जो ओलिगोपोली बिहेवियर को पूरी तरह से बयान कर सके. वी आर गोइंग टू एक्सप्लेन इन दिस लेक्चर एंड द सब्सिक्वेंट लेक्चर some of the most important oligopoly models, but at the best we can say that these models are incomplete or more or less they are unrealistic, in the sense that their assumptions are quite unrealistic. And the last lecture on the oligopoly, we will consider the game theoretic approach on oligopoly. तो इसको हम end में जो lecture होगा उसमें हम game theory के साथ oligopoly को relate करेंगे. In today's lecture, we are going to consider some of price setting model and some output setting model. As far as other market structures are concerned, that is in monopolistic competition, we have seen that the firm can set its price and also its output. लेकिन जहाँ पे हमने वहाँ पे देखा था that the monopoly power of the firm is quite restricted because of the availability of close substitutes in the market. On the other hand, the perfect competition, in case of perfect competition, the firms are price takers. So all they have to decide is about their output level. As far as monopoly is concerned, it makes no difference on the equilibrium whether the firm sets first its price or its output. But oligopoly is different. In this case, the firms either they set their prices first or they set their output first. That is why we have different models for output setting firms and for price setting firms. First of all, we will consider a model here which is an example of output setting firms. For this purpose, we describe here the earliest model that was given for oligopoly, which was presented by a French economist, Augustin Cournot, in 1838. In this model, Cournot says that the firms they select their output levels depending on the output levels of the competing firms. That is, in his view, the firms they decide about their output simultaneously and independently. In other words, the demand curve facing the oligopoly firms, they are stable, and because it is assumed the competing firm is assuming that the other firm the output of the other firm is fixed. That is, it is given. So इसमें अगर हम assume करें that there are only two firms, then the oligopoly is called duopoly. So duopoly जो framework है, basically all these models are discussed under duopoly framework. The reason is that for the sake of simplicity, we use this two firm model. जिसमें कि एक फर्म 1 है, दूसरी फर्म 2 है, और वी कॉल इट फर्म ए और फर्म बी। और रीज़न जैसे कि मैंने अभी कहा कि सिंप्लिसिटी की वजह से, क्योंकि हमें एल्जेब्रिक इसके जो एग्जाम्पल्स हैं वो भी देना है और इसके अलावा इसका जो ग्राफिकल सोल्यूशन है वो भी देना है। सो इन ऑर्डर टू गिव अ ग्राफिकल सोल्यूशन we know that we have to consider a two-dimensional graph. So for that purpose, we use a two-firm model, that is Jopley framework. Some of the important points of Cournot model, you can see them on screen. The first one is, in Cournot model, each firm treats the output of the other firm as given. That is, it's considered that the output of the other firm is given or it is fixed. A firm's reaction function shows how its optimal output varies with each possible action by its rival firm. Cournot equilibrium, which is also called Nash equilibrium, is where the two reaction curves intersect. And the last one is that in Cournot model, a rival's action is its output choice. So as I said earlier, that the one competing firm understands, or it sort of speculates that the level of output of the other firm is fixed. For example, अगर हम कहते हैं कि टोटल जो यहाँ पे क्वांटिटी produced or sold is, let's say in the market it is 100 units, and if firm A or the first firm thinks that the other firm will produce 50 units, then its decision will depend on the output decision of the other firm. So it will set now that its own output level will also be equal to 50 units. That is the remaining demand for that product. We have also called this equilibrium, that is the Cournot equilibrium, is also called Nash equilibrium, after the name of an American mathematician who was a Princeton University professor, and he was awarded a Nobel Prize for his work on non-cooperative game theory. And this Nobel Prize was awarded in 1994. Actually, on the life of this mathematician, a picture was made, and its title was A Beautiful Mind, and it was released in 2002. It was a beautiful picture starring Russell Crowe. So coming back to the Nash equilibrium, we are going to consider this in detail while we will be discussing game theoretic approach of oligopoly. Here we will just say that this is a situation where the two players or two firms, they do not want to change their position or strategy. We have said that the output decision of one firm depends on the output decisions of the other firm. This means that there is a relationship between the profit maximizing output level of one firm, that is the optimal level of output, and the competitor's output decisions. जो भी उसकी output price, जो उसकी production policy है, उसके ऊपर depend करेगा. This relationship between the optimal output level of one firm with the competitors or rivals output level is called output reaction curve or output reaction function. This is called a reaction curve because here we know that how an oligopoly firm would react to the production decision of the other firm. Now let's see on screen what we mean by this reaction curve. First of all, in this diagram, you can see that if firm 1 believes that firm 2 will supply the entire industry output, it will supply 0. So that you can see that the firm 1 demand curve is the one which is lying below the AC and MC curve, which is a straight horizontal line, or the entire demand here that will be produced by firm 2. Because firm 1 is assuming, or it is speculating, that firm 2 will believe supply or it will supply the entire industry output. In the next diagram, we can see that if firm 1 believes that firm 2 will supply 0 output, it becomes a monopoly supplier. In this case, you can see the market demand curve, the residual demand for firm 1, and the AC, and that is the average cost and marginal cost, are given as horizontal straight line. You can see the associated marginal revenue curve with the demand curve. You can also see that. So in this case, firm 2 will produce 0 output, and firm 1 जो है वो सारी output जो है, the entire output will be supplied by firm 1 in this case. In between, as I gave earlier an example, that if the firm 1 considers that if suppose there are 100 units that are to be produced, and firm 1 considers or assumes that firm 2 will produce, let's say, 20 units, then the remaining 80 units will be produced by firm 1, और firm 2 जो है वो 20 units जो है वो produce करेगी. In next slide, you can see output reaction curve of firm A or firm 1 on screen. Here you can see the two extremes where in case of monopoly the price is greater than marginal cost, or in case of competitive firm a price is equal to marginal cost, and here we have drawn the output reaction curve of firm A. In the next diagram you can see that here we have drawn the reaction curves of both firms. If firm 2 makes the same conjectures, that is speculations, then we get the following reaction curves. Here you can see that there are two reaction curves. Firm 2's reaction curve, which can be expressed as Q2 function of Q1, that is the output which is produced and sold in the market by the firm 2. It depends on the firm 1's output. And similarly, you can see that firm 1's reaction curve, this can be expressed as Q1 is a function of Q2, that is the output produced and sold in the market by firm 2. It depends on the level of output which is produced and sold by firm 2. So their actions are interdependent. As we have said earlier, that in case of oligopoly, the interdependent relationship between the firms is very important. So there is a point, as you can see in the diagram, that these reaction curves, they intersect at one point. Since in this case, we have assumed that their cost conditions or their cost curves are also identical and their demand condition is also identical. Therefore, in this case, these reaction curves are symmetric, and here obviously the market sharing, that is they will produce and sell the same amount, that is the identical amount. अगर एक फर्म जो है वो 50 यूनिट्स प्रोड्यूस कर रही है तो दूसरी फर्म जो है वो भी 50 यूनिट्स प्रोड्यूस करेगी, क्योंकि हम ये कह रहे हैं कि उनका जो मार्केट शेयरिंग है दैट इज़ ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ 50-50. तो क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो रिएक्शन कर्व्स हमने ड्रॉ किए हैं, आउटपुट रिएक्शन कर्व्स ऑफ फर्म 1 एंड फर्म 2, they are symmetric. The reason is that their cost curves are also identical. In the next slide, you can see the convergence towards equilibrium. That is how the two reaction curves intersect. You can see the arrowheads which shows the convergence towards the equilibrium. That is the point where the two reaction curves are intersecting. And this is the point which is called Cournot equilibrium point. And we are going to explain this with the help of a numerical example. Now assume that market demand, this is given as P is equal to 1600 minus Q, where the total output of the industry is, that is Q is equal to QA plus QB. Obviously QA is the output which is produced and sold by firm A, and QB represents the output which is produced and sold by firm B. So Q is equal to QA plus QB. As I said earlier, that for all these models we are going to use a duopoly framework. That is, we are assuming that there are only two oligopoly firms in the market. लेकिन real world में obviously 2 से ज़्यादा firms होंगी, लेकिन जैसे मैंने पहले कहा कि simplicity के लिए, क्योंकि हमने graphically भी इसको show करना है और algebraically भी इसको explain करने हैं models को, therefore we are using this duopoly model. So Q is equal to QA plus QB. We can see that the industry output constitute firm A and firm B's output respectively. Further, we assume that the marginal cost of firm A and marginal cost of firm B are equal, and this is equal to $100. And average cost and marginal cost both are equal. This, in other words, means that we are assuming that there is no fixed cost. This is just a simplifying assumption. क्योंकि हम मॉडल को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सिंप्लीफाई कर रहे हैं, so this is a simplifying assumption, and we are saying that there is no fixed cost. As such, AC is equal to marginal cost. So, and both of these are equal to $100, and we are also assuming that the marginal cost of A and the marginal cost of firm B are identical. To find the profit maximizing output of firm A, given firm B's output, we need to find firm A's marginal revenue and set it equal to marginal cost, so that we get firm A's total revenue, and this is obtained by, you can see in the equation, total revenue for A is equal to, since price was already given and total revenue is equal to what? Total revenue is price times quantity. In this case, it will be price function which is given 1600 minus Q, where we have seen that Q was equal to QA plus QB. So we are going to multiply it by QA. Now look at the screen, you will see that total revenue of A is obtained by multiplying P by QA, that is 1600 minus Q is to be multiplied by QA. And since we know that Q is equal to QA plus QB, substituting this, we get then ultimately 1600 QA minus QA square minus QA QB. So that firm's marginal revenue is obtained by differentiating this total revenue function with respect to QA. We get the marginal revenue curve or function of firm A, and that is given as marginal revenue A is MRA is equal to 1600 minus 2QA minus QB. To find the profit maximizing level for firm A, we have to set equal marginal revenue and marginal cost, that is the marginal revenue for firm A and marginal cost for firm A. ये स्क्रीन पे आप देख सकते हैं कि हम इन्हें यहाँ पे इक्वेट किया है marginal revenue MRA and MCA, so that we get QA which is equal to 750 minus 0.5 QB. This is firm A reaction curve, and you can see here that QA is a function of QB, that is the output level of firm A depends on the output level of firm B. This is what I have already explained, that why this is so, because we are considering an output setting model, और यहाँ पे हमने देखा है कि जो आउटपुट जो भी सेट करनी है एक फर्म को, वो दूसरी फर्म की आउटपुट जो भी सेट उसने करनी है उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करेगी. जैसे कि आप यहाँ पे algebraically भी देख सकते हैं that QA, that is the firm's reaction curve, in the firm A's reaction curve, output reaction curve is given as QA equal to 750 minus 0.5 QB, and as you can see that QA depends on QB, जैसे कि आप इसको algebraically भी यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं. Now if we had begun by examining firm B's profit maximizing output, we would find its reaction curve which is equal to QB is equal to 750 minus 0.5 QA. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं कि जो हमने प्रोसीजर यूज़ किया है in order to derive the firm A's output reaction curve. Similarly, using the same procedure, we will derive the firm B's output reaction curve, and firm B's output reaction curve is equal to QB is equal to 750 minus 0.5 QA, and here too we can see that the firm B's output reaction curve or the output decision will depend on firm A's output decision, that is QB is a function of QA. So here we have seen that we have derived the output reaction curves for both firms, and we have seen that the output reaction curve of firm A, it not only depends on its own output but also on the output of the rival firm. And similarly, the output reaction curve of firm B, it not only depends on its own output but also on the output of firm A. So solving these output reaction curves simultaneously, we can obtain the equilibrium point. On screen you can see that we solve these reaction curves simultaneously, that is QA and QB. Here QA is equal to 750 minus 0.5 QB, and we know that QB is equal to 750 minus 0.5 QA. So inserting this value of QB, we simplify our system here, that is we reduce the equation into a single variable so that we can easily solve for that single variable, and in this case that single variable is QA, and we find QA equal to 500 units. So Cournot equilibrium output is equal to QA plus QB, since we have seen in the start of our numerical example that Q is equal to QA plus QB. Since we have found QA is equal to 500 units, and using the same procedure we can solve for QB, which is also equal to 500 units. So in this case you can see that the Cournot equilibrium output is equal to Q, which is equal to QA plus QB, and both the firms, this means, are producing and selling 500 units each. As I said earlier, since in this case their cost curves are assumed to be identical and their demand curve and the demand curve that they are facing is also the same, therefore their output reaction curves are symmetric, and in this case they will produce the market share जो है उनका वो 50-50 होगा, and they will be producing the same amount. In this case, this amount is equal to 500 units each. Once we have found the equilibrium output, that is the equilibrium output for the Cournot model, we can easily find the equilibrium price. And this you can see on screen. Here we have, using this simple example, we have found that Cournot equilibrium output was equal to 1000 units, that is 500 for QA and 500 for QB. So that now substituting this Q into our demand function, which was given initially, so Cournot equilibrium price will be equal to 1600 minus Q. So Q जो है वो हमने अभी find out किया है, that is equal to 1000 units. Substituting this value of Q, here we get that the equilibrium price is equal to $600. अभी हमने इस simple example में ये show किया है, देखा है कि जो equilibrium output है Cournot model में, that is equal to 1000 units, and the equilibrium corresponding equilibrium price is $600 per unit. प्रॉफिट जो है इस स्क्रीन पे, इस स्लाइड पे आप देख सकते हैं कि प्रॉफिट जो है वो भी यहाँ पे कैलकुलेट किया हुआ है. प्रॉफिट इज इक्वल टू टोटल रेवेन्यू माइनस टोटल कॉस्ट, एंड टोटल रेवेन्यू इज 600 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 500, दैट इज P times Q, which is equal to, and this is to be, here we have to subtract total cost, which is equal to 100, because we know that we have assumed that marginal cost is equal to average cost, and that is equal to 100. And the number of units produced by one firm is 500. Therefore, firm A will be generating a profit of, which is equal to $250,000 by each firm. So the total profit generated by the two firms in this case will be equal to $500,000. Now, using this simple example, we can compare the oligopoly output, perfect competition output, and also monopoly output. So इसमें under perfect competition we know that price is set equal to marginal cost, and here we know that marginal cost is equal to $100. So we are given the demand function, which is P equal to 1600 minus Q. Now substituting value of P, which is equal to $100, we get the value of Q, जो कि आप स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं. Since here P is equal to MC, which is equal to $100, so when P is equal to $100, then Q will be equal to $1,500. So for the competitive market firm, the total output which is produced and sold in the market is 1500 units. And equilibrium quantity is 750 units each for both firms. Since we are assuming that there are two firms in the market, that is firm A and firm B, and if under competitive market model में अगर वो काम करेंगे तो इस सूरत में, using this example, the total output will be 1500 units, so each firm will be producing 750 units. On the other hand, under monopoly, again, if we assume that this firm were a monopoly firm, तो इसमें हमारे पास जो demand curve था, basically the demand curve was given, and that was P equal to 1600 minus Q, and we were also given the marginal cost, which is equal to average cost, and both of these are equal to $100, and we are assuming that there is no fixed cost. As I said earlier, that this is a simplifying assumption. So problem को simplify करने के लिए ये assumptions जो हैं हमने लिए हैं, और यहाँ पे अगर हम assume करें कि ये monopoly market है, then the monopolist will be facing this demand curve, which is P is equal to 1600 minus Q. So in order to get the profit maximizing level of output for the monopolist, we simply we have to find the total revenue and then the marginal revenue, because we have to equate the marginal revenue to the marginal cost. So you can see these calculations on screen. Under monopoly, total revenue is P times Q, so we multiply P by Q and we get 1600 Q minus Q square, so that marginal revenue is obtained by differentiating this total revenue with respect to Q, and we get 1600 minus 2Q. So in order to find the profit maximizing level, now we equate marginal revenue to marginal cost, and you can see on the screen that we get Q equal to 750. Here we can also find the profit maximizing monopoly price. When we substitute Q equal to 750 into our price function, that is the demand function which was initially given, P equal to 1600 minus Q, that is 1600 minus 750, and as a result we get the monopoly price, which is equal to $850 per unit, and the monopoly firm will be generating a profit which is equal to $562,500. So we can compare the monopoly price and the oligopoly price. We have seen that the monopoly price is $850 per unit, and we have already obtained that the oligopoly price was equal to that was lower than this price, which was equal to $600. And as far as the output is concerned, the output under monopoly is only 750 units, whereas under oligopoly, the equilibrium output was equal to, total output was equal to 1000 units. And in case of competitive firm, this was equal to, the total output was equal to 1500 units as expected. Now, we have also graphically drawn this example. Here in this diagram, you can see the output reaction curves of both the firms, that is firm A and firm B. The output reaction curve of firm B is QB is equal to 750 minus 0.5 QA, and the output reaction curve for firm A is QA is equal to 750 minus 0.5 QB. These two curves are drawn and they are intersecting at the point which is called the Cournot equilibrium. It is also called Nash equilibrium, as I said earlier. Here you can see that the firms are, their market share is identical. They are, both of these firms are producing 500 units each, and the competitive equilibrium is also shown. In that case, if we consider these firms as competitive firms, then they will be producing 750 units each, and the total output will be 1500. You can see that we have here established that under monopoly, the output will be the lowest, that was 750 units only, and the monopoly price was higher than the oligopoly price. The oligopoly price here we have determined as, which was equal to $600. This is higher than the oligopoly price, which is equal to $850 per unit. So we can summarize the Cournot model using this numerical example and using this diagram. You can see the main points on screen, which are that firms are maximizing profit simultaneously. The market is shared equally among the firms, and price is above the competitive equilibrium and below the monopoly equilibrium. Next, we are going to consider another important model, another important oligopoly model, which was presented again by a French economist, and his name is Joseph Bertrand, and he presented this model in 1883. This model is a price set. This is an example of price setting model. And in this case, there are two versions of the model. One is for identical products, that is where the products are homogeneous, and the other is for the differentiated products. So first we will take up the homogeneous product model, that is the Bertrand model with the homogeneous products or identical products. Bertrand argued that the firms, oligopoly firms, they set their decisions not on outputs but on prices. तो वो प्राइसेस पे compete कर रहे होते हैं यहाँ पे जब आइडेंटिकल प्रोडक्ट्स की हम बात करें, क्योंकि हमने ये कहा कि there are few sellers but they are producing identical products. Again here when we take up the examples, तो उसमें फिर हम जो है two firm model पे आ जाएंगे, that is we'll be basically we will be considering a duopoly model, that is where there are only two sellers. लेकिन जनरल जब हम बात करते हैं there are few sellers and all of these sellers are producing identical or homogeneous products, just like they are produced in a competitive market model. But the difference is that in case of oligopoly, there are few sellers, and in case of competitive market, there is a large number of sellers. Here, as I said, that in case of Bertrand model, when the products are identical, तो यहाँ पे price जो है उसके ऊपर competition होगा, क्योंकि जो भी firm lowest price charge कर रही होगी, जो consumers हैं उस तरफ shift हो जाएंगे. So obviously in this case the firm will be charging the same price as in case of competitive market. And if there are two competing firms, let's say 1 and 2, if firm 1 undercuts its price in order to shift the consumer towards its output, तो उसमें क्या होगा कि जब वो undercut करेगी, जब उसकी price जो है comparatively लो होगी फर्म बी से, तो सारे जो कंज्यूमर्स हैं या जो कस्टमर्स हैं वो फर्म 1 की तरफ शिफ्ट हो जाएंगे. और इसी तरह से इसको रिएक्ट कर सकती है दूसरी फर्म, एंड इट कैन एज अ रिजल्ट वन फर्म कैन कैप्चर द एंटायर मार्केट. तो अगर वो दूसरी फर्म जो है वो इसको रिएक्ट करेगी और अंडरकट करेगी प्राइस को, एज अ रिजल्ट अगेन दिस विल रिकैप्चर द मार्केट, एंटायर मार्केट. सो दिस प्राइस वॉर विल कंटिन्यू. This price war will continue and it will end only when the price of firm A and price of firm B converges towards their marginal cost. So price of A और price of B यानी कि दोनों जो फर्म्स हैं उनकी प्राइसेस जो हैं अल्टीमेटली वो मार्जिनल कॉस्ट के बराबर हो जाएंगी। और ये क्या शो करता है? दिस शोज दैट there will be the solution is the competitive market model. That is, the solution is of pricing and output. That is the solution of a competitive model. This means that Bertrand is saying that this price war will continue until the price converges or it is exactly equal to marginal cost of the firms. और इस तरह से ये price war जो है उसका जो result है यहाँ पे competition जो है that will be fierce. विगरस कंपटीशन होगा, लेकिन इस कंपटीशन के रिजल्ट में जो इकोनॉमिक प्रॉफिट्स हैं दे विल अल्टीमेटली बी इक्वल टू ज़ीरो एंड द फर्म्स द प्राइसेस ऑफ ऑल द फर्म्स विल बी इक्वल टू देयर मार्जिनल कॉस्ट, which is a situation which is exactly the same that we have considered in case of competitive model. Bertrand model is criticized on the ground by many economists that it's not possible that the oligopoly firms will be facing the same situation as in the competitive market, that is their price will be the same as that of the competitive market. और उनकी जो रीजनिंग है वो ये है कि यहाँ पे जो बर्ट्रैंड है उसके ख्याल में जो प्राइसिंग है दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन changes in cost. That is, whenever there is a change in cost, there will be a change in prices. और इसमें जो नंबर ऑफ कंपेटिटर्स हैं उसको ख्याल नहीं किया गया। और यहाँ पे ये भी जो दूसरे कुछ इकोनॉमिस्ट हैं उनके ख्याल में कूरनॉट मॉडल इज़ more plausible as compared to Bertrand model in the sense that here यहाँ पे जो Bertrand ने ये assume किया है कि इसके अलावा दोनों models जो हैं अगर उनको हम compare करते हैं तो दोनों जो हैं both of these models are closed models in the sense that both of these model does not consider the entry of new firms in the market. तो इस तरह से उनकी जो criticism है यहाँ पे दोनों पर भी है। और लेकिन बहुत से इकोनॉमिस्ट का ख्याल है कि कूरनॉट मॉडल जो है दैट इज़ बेटर दैन बर्ट्रैंड मॉडल, क्योंकि इसमें जो एग्जांपल, लेकिन कुछ और इकोनॉमिस्ट हैं जिनके ख्याल में बर्ट्रैंड मॉडल जो है दैट इज़ रियलिस्टिक इन द सेंस दैट देयर आर मैनी ओलिगोपोली फर्म्स, देयर आर मैनी एग्जांपल्स ऑफ ओलिगोपोली इंडस्ट्री वेयर द ओलिगोपोली फर्म्स आर मेकिंग ओनली मीगर प्रॉफिट्स। और इसके लिए ज़्यादातर एयरलाइन सर्विस की जो है वो एग्जाम्पल दी जाती है। द एयरलाइन सर्विस देयर नंबर इज़ क्वाइट फ्यू but the profit that they are making in the market that is quite meager. उनका profit जो है margin वो बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है। In early 80s, a theory of contestable market was presented. This theory was presented by American economist William Baumol and other economists. In this theory, basically ये theory जो है that supports the Bertrand model. It was presented after around 100 years after the Bertrand model, because we have said that Bertrand model was presented in 1883 and this theory was presented roughly around after 100 years. And this theory supports the Bertrand model in the sense that this also says that there are many industries in the which are oligopoly industries, but they are making meager profit. That is, they are fiercely competing with each other. और प्राइस सेटिंग मॉडल है, लेकिन इसमें जो बेसिकली जहाँ पे इसको सपोर्ट किया गया है मॉडल को वो ये है कि यहाँ पे एंट्री जो है, जो कंटेस्टेबल मार्केट है, मार्केट इज सेड टू बी कंटेस्टेबल व्हेन अदर फर्म्स कैन एंटर, दैट इज़ द न्यू फर्म कैन एंटर द मार्केट फ्रीली एंड ऑल्सो द फर्म्स कैन एग्जिट द मार्केट, जिसमें कि उसको एग्जिट भी ईजी है और जो उसकी एंट्री है वो भी फर्म में free है. Free in the sense that the established firm, so that is the existing firm, the cost that they are incurring, they have the new firms have the same cost structure. और उनको जो है इस लिहाज से हम कह सकते हैं कि उनकी एंट्री जो है वो काफ़ी ईजी है, क्योंकि उनको जो उनकी कॉस्ट है वो एग्जिस्टिंग फर्म्स के बराबर है. इसी तरह से एग्जिट जो है उसमें भी अगर संक कॉस्ट जो है दैट इज़ नॉट इन्वॉल्व और संक कॉस्ट इज़ क्वाइट माइनर, in that case the firms can easily enter into the market and they can easily exit the market, so that entry into the market, entry is not a barrier in this case. तो उस सूरत में हम कह सकते हैं that markets are contestable, that is they can easily contest. So entry and exit in the market is very important in contestable market model. अगर वहाँ पे entry और exit जो है वो free है तो इस तरह से जो मार्केट्स हैं ओलिगोपोली फर्म्स वो बिहेव करेंगी, दे विल बिहेव मच लाइक अ competitive market. So in this case we can see that the prediction made by Bertrand, it is supported by this contestable market model. Next, we are going to consider Bertrand model for differentiated products, that is Bertrand oligopoly model for differentiated products. In this model, Bertrand argued that the firms set their prices rather than output, as Cournot has maintained. तो उसके ख्याल में फर्म्स जो है वो प्राइसेस को पहले सेट करती हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो बेसिक पॉइंट है वो ये है कि फर्म्स जो है वो प्राइसेस सेट करती हैं एंड देन कस्टमर्स दे सेट क्वांटिटीज हाउ मच टू बाय. द फर्म सेट्स देयर प्राइसेस. और डिफरेंशिएटेड प्रोडक्ट्स के केस में इस पे जो ज़्यादा बात होती है वो ये होती है कि अगर फर्म्स जो हैं इंस्टेड ऑफ सेटिंग देयर प्राइसेस दे सेट देयर क्वांटिटीज, देन हाउ द प्राइसेस आर गोइंग टू बी डिटरमिन्ड इन द मार्केट. सो इन हिज व्यू, it is the firms in oligopoly market, they are setting their prices rather than quantities. So one firms, again here it is similar to the Cournot model in the sense that firms pricing policy depends on the pricing policy of the rival firm. So यहाँ पे भी we are going to consider the reaction curves in this case too, but here the instead of output reaction curves we will be considering the price reaction curves of the firms. That is the optimal price, the level of output, the level of optimal price of one firm. It is related to the pricing policy of the other firm. That is, if there are only two rival firms, that is firm A and firm B, or firm A जो price set करेगी, that will depend on the pricing policy of the other firm. So this means the relationship between the optimal price of one firm and the competing firms pricing policy or price level, it is called the price reaction curve or price reaction function. It is, the definition is just the same that we have given for the output reaction firm, but here the difference is that in that case we were considering the outputs of the two firms. Here we are considering the prices which are set by the two firms, and here we can see that prices of the two or pricing policy of the two firms is interdependent. Here again, to explain this model, we are going to consider a numerical example. You can see on screen that since we are considering again a duopoly framework, here we are assuming that there are two firms in the market. There are two oligopoly firms, that is firm A and firm B, and their demand curves are given as firm A demand is QA equal to 60 minus 2PA plus PB, and firm B's demand is QB equal to 60 minus 2B plus PA. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं that firm A demand curve, it depends not only on its own price but on the price of the competitor firm also. That is, it is a function of not only price of A but also price of B. इसी तरह से firm B का जो demand curve है, that is QB is equal to 60 minus 2PB plus PA. So you can see the relationship between the prices of the firms. That is, if we consider first demand function for firm A. Now look at this demand function, you will see that price of A is attached with a negative sign. This means that the firm is facing a downward sloping demand curve as far as its own price is concerned, that is PA. So both of these oligopoly firms, they are facing a downward sloping demand curve as far as their own prices are concerned, but their quantities which are produced are also, they are also dependent upon the prices of the competing markets. Now we are also assuming in this simple example, we are assuming that marginal cost of A and marginal cost of B, it is equal to 0 just for the sake of simplicity. Then the total revenue for firm A can be found simply by multiplying PA by QA, and since QA is given, multiplying it by PA, we get 60 PA minus 2 PA square plus PA PB. And now since our decision variable is price, it's not the quantity. Therefore, we will be differentiating with respect to price. So in order to find profit, we can profit from A. This can be found by multiplying PA by QA and subtracting GA, that is the total cost from it. And since we have assumed that total cost, marginal cost is equal to 0, therefore cost will be equal to 0. So यहाँ पे हमारे पास जो firm A का profit है वो है 60 PA minus 2 PA square plus PAPB. Since price is the decision variable, so in order to find the profit maximizing price level, we will differentiate the profit function with respect to price. So you can see on screen that we have to find curly by curly PA of pi A, which is, and setting it equal to 0. So that we are differentiating the profit function with respect to PA partially, keeping PB as a constant. And we obtain here PA, which is equal to 15 minus 0.25 PB. This is from A price reaction curve, and this is given as PA equal to 15 minus 0.25 PB. Here we can see that PA is a function of PB, that is, the pricing strategy of firm A will depend on the pricing strategy of the competing firm or the rival firm, that is firm B. Similarly, using the same procedure, we can find the price reaction curve for firm B, which is equal to PB is equal to 15 minus 0.25 PA. And now solving these price reaction curves simultaneously, we can get the equilibrium level of price. Inserting PB into PA, that is, since we know that PB is equal to 15 minus 0.25 PA, inserting this into PA, we get 15 minus 0.25 multiplied by 15 minus 0.25 PA, and we get PA equal to 15 minus 3.75 plus 0.0625 PA. Solving for PA, we get PA equal to $20. Similarly, we can find PB, which is also equal to $20. Using the same procedure, we'll find PB, which is equal to $20. So this means that the profit maximizing level of price in the market set by the two competing firms is equal to $20 each. So यहाँ पे हमने देखा कि जो oligopoly price है, using this price setting model which was given by Bertrand, and it is presented for the differentiated products, the price which we have obtained here, the equilibrium price, is equal to $20. This is the equilibrium price, and we can easily find the corresponding equilibrium output, that is, since PA is equal to PB, and substituting this here, now we have derived here that price of A is equal to price of P, which is equal to $20. तो इसको जब हम substitute करेंगे तो यहाँ पे हमारे पास जो firm A का demand curve है, that is QA was equal to 60 minus, here we substitute 20, price of $20, तो हमारे पास जो amount है, that is total output जो firm A की है, that is equal to 40,000 units, because we have assumed that the output is in 1,000 units. So the total output produced and sold in the oligopoly market is 80,000 units. We can compare it with monopoly. Assuming that this were a monopoly market, then we can calculate the monopoly price, which is equal to $30, and the corresponding here total amount which is produced under monopoly, this is only equal to 30,000 units. And the monopolist is making $90,000 profit. So आप compare कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे जो oligopoly price है और monopoly price. Oligopoly price हमारी $20 थी, जबकि monopoly price जो है वो $30 है. और इसी तरह से जो output है, that will be lower in case of much lower in case of monopoly, as we have expected. In this case, the monopoly output is only 30,000 units, whereas the oligopoly output is, which is produced and sold by the two firms, that is equal to 80,000. इसी तरह से उनका जो profit है, obviously वो monopolist का profit जो है वो oligopolist से ज़्यादा है. The result of this example we have presented graphically. Here you can see the two reaction curves, that is the price reaction curves of the two firms, that is for firm A and for firm B. You can see here the price reaction curves जो कि हमने draw किए हैं, and they are intersecting at the equilibrium price which is equal to $20. और यहाँ पे monopoly equilibrium जो है वो भी हमने show किया है, और जैसे कि अभी हमने find out किया था, in case of monopoly the price is higher, which is equal to $30. So here we have seen that we have discussed some of the price setting models and other output setting model. In case of output setting model, we have taken the example of, we have explained Cournot's model, and for the price setting model we have explained the Bertrand's model. Bertrand's model has two versions, one for the identical products and the other for differentiated product. With that, we come to end of this lecture, and we'll continue with this in the next lecture. Thank you. Khuda Hafiz.